Good afternoon, everybody. My name's Mike. I'll be going over a few of the hands that you just finished playing. And then if anybody wants to discuss any of the other hands, we can go over those afterwards. Um, the topic for this afternoon's game, or this afternoon's lesson rather, was splitting of honors. That's normally you play second hand low on defense. Splitting honors is the practice is if you have two equal cards that are they're big enough, you play one of them to force the third hand to play high as possible. You'll see some illustrations as we go through the lesson hands. In general, it's not a good idea to split honors. One of the many dangers is that, say you have king, queen, X of a suit, and they lead low from three small, you play the king, and your partner has a stiff ace or a stiff jack. There's a danger in crashing honors when crashing your partner's high cards when you split honors. But sometimes it's right. Hopefully, I'll be able to give you a few hands where you can see hands where it's right and why, and where somewhere it's wrong and why. And then we'll discuss anything you'd like to discuss afterwards. All right. Oh, please tell me you're not. Why does this thing always do this? There we go. Okay. So the first lesson, oh, I put a copy of the PDF of the lesson already into chat. I'll repost it again at the end of the lesson. The first lesson hand was hand number 2. This should be hopefully a fairly easy auction that probably was duplicated at most tables. But East is the opening bidder. They have 13 points, so they open one diamond, not enough to open a no trump. South has some points, but not enough to do anything. Pass. West will respond to spade. North has some distribution, but nowhere near enough to start getting in. Pass. East has 13 points. They have four spades. It evaluates to about 14 points in support. But that's a two spade bid. Pass. There are hands where slam might be a possibility, but they're too vague to worry about. West should just probably raise to four spades. They've got extra trumps. Pretty much, unless partner has a singleton heart, slam is going to be silly. But four spades. This is what I anticipated the auction being at most tables. First question is, what should North lead against this? The king of diamonds will set up a diamond trick quickly, but it's their suit. They're going to be probably be setting up tricks in their suit. The Jack of Hearts is nice lead because it's top of a sequence. It sort of combines safety because you've got a three-card sequence with the aggression of attacking an unbid suit, and you want to attack hearts rather than clubs because your hearts with that sequence is a much stronger holding. So Jack of Hearts was the suggested lead. How should Declare look at this? Well, they have 10 trumps. Usually that's good for no losers, but sometimes they break 3-0. So call it 0, maybe 1. They have two heart losers. They have no club losers. They have one diamond loser. So if spade splits, they have 10 tricks. If they don't, well, we got to try and do something with diamonds. That's our only other choice of tricks. East plays the 2. South can either play the queen or the 5. The one card they can't play is the king. The king would deny the queen, and we can't do that. So the 5 of hearts will preserve the honors, but partner might not know what's going on. The queen of hearts risks crashing some cards. It's 50-50. That wasn't the point of the lesson. Whichever one you played as South would be fine. I'll put them with the 5. And we might as well win. We can draw trumps, but unfortunately you find out about the 3-0 split. Oh, yeah. It would have been nice for South to play the queen of spades on the first spade trick. That sort of lets North know what's going on with spades. when they follow with the 10 the next time. But I didn't do that on this one. Now West plays a diamond. Now, North can't see what West's cards are. But here it looks like we've got to take some heart tricks quickly. If you play a low diamond and declare has two or more, they're almost certainly going to stick in the 9. It might save a trick later, but it's going to cost a trick quickly. On this hand, it's the setting trick that it's going to cost. So this is one of the cases where you want to split honors because you don't want to let declarer win a trick cheaply. One point about splitting honors, there's no standard about whether you split with the higher of 2 honors or the lower of 2 honors. I've seen some very good partnerships play it either way. So I think that most people learn to play the queen here. Actually, I'll do that. To play the queen here. But some people have the agreement that they'll split with the higher of their honors. Matter of style. If you haven't discussed it, I would assume the partner is going to be splitting from the lower of their 2 honors. Once they play the queen of diamonds, well, now declarer can try. Now we win our diamond trick. And we cash our heart tricks. Sorry, let me get rid of that thing. There we go. Let's get some more screen. There we go. Okay. We cash our heart tricks, and we've got the queen of spades, and that's down 1. So declare was a little unlucky with the spade split, but that's why they're problem hands. The big one was this is the reasonably classic example of when you split. You don't want declare to take a cheaper trick in the suit than they have to. So that's the basic of when you split honors. You don't play second hand low. If doing that will let declare win a cheap trick that you can't afford to let them win. That's that one. So that's the theory of splitting honors. Again, it's overrated to split honors. You usually want to play second hand low. All right, let's keep on going. This wasn't 1. 4 was 1. Yes. Okay, this was 1. All right, so this one, again, it should just be a pretty non-competitive auction for East-West. On this one, West is the dealer. They open a spade. North has the right shape for a double, but they're at least an ace shy, so they pass. East can't raise spades, can't pass, doesn't have enough for a 2/1 response. 1 no trump is the sort of catch-all bit there. South has 13 points. If you doubled here, it wouldn't be the worst bid in the world, but you don't have very exciting shape, and your honors are in the spade suit, which is their suit. If you doubled, that's okay. I think it'll still go the same way, but I think South should pass there. East rebid or West rebids their spades, and that should do it. East should recognize that they don't have any more values, so pass. And South sort of grudgingly passes for the same reason that I suggested not making a double of 1 no trump. So West should play 2 spades. If South acted with a double, I think it still just goes double 2 spades, pass, pass, pass. All right, opening lead should be pretty easy, king of hearts. And so declare is looking at what looks like 2 heart losers, no club losers, 1 or 2 diamonds, depending on where the ace of diamonds is, or sometimes the defense gets muddled up and they'll have to lead something in diamonds to your advantage. So you're not sure, but you've got 6 top losers, but lots of chances to try and get rid of 1 in either spades or diamonds. So on the king of hearts lead, might as well. There's no advantage either way, but let's duck. It's when you've led the king, your partner already knows you have the queen. So it's a nice idea when you continue on here to continue with the jack, just so partner knows you have it. Um, let's say they do that. It's not a big deal, but so now South knows that there are no more entries to dummy. There aren't anything in hearts, there isn't anything in clubs, and they've got the ace queen of diamonds over the king. So they know this is probably going to be the last time that they're going to be able to lead from dummy. So this is a case, this is the other case where you want to split honors. You you play a spade here, and South should definitely play the queen or the king. If they play the 10, let's just see what happens if they play the 10. Then they can cover with the jack. And now they're only going to lose one spade trick. But when they split honors, excuse me, now they can win or not, but now they're never going to get back to dummy to lead a spade towards the jack nine. They'll end up losing two spades. They'll lose two hearts. And in the fullness of time, they'll have to put a diamond towards the king, and they'll lose the ace queen of diamonds as well. So this is another example of when you do want to split honors, when you want to prevent declare taking a cheap finesse, when you've got enough honors that you can stop them doing that. Even if partner happened to hold a stiff ace or a stiff jack, the queen of spades wouldn't cost because you have the 10 behind it. If you had, sorry, but if you had, let's go back to the spade holding. If you had king queen small of spades instead of king queen 10, not 100% clear, but I think ducking is probably right. You would expect declare to stick in the 8 or 9 if they're missing when they're missing the king queen and 10. So um, if you play the king part, it's going to be a 50-50 shot whether declare plays the jack next or the 9 next. But low would protect your partner's 10. But with the 10, you do want to split honors. This is not an easy topic to get hard and fast rules on. Um, it's very much a case by case basis. And you can see good defenders thinking for a bit, deciding whether or not to split honors. When dummy is entryless and you have 3 cards in the suit, all of which are useful cards, that's a good idea that you want to consider splitting honors. Um, here's one of the classic cases. Okay, let's keep on going. I think number 7 was next. Remember my lessons. Yes, this was one. Okay, auction first. This was not all that good. So South should start with a pass. West is fairly close to an opening bid. I think they're a point shy. The rule that we're teaching, and it's a fairly useful rule, is called the rule of 20. You add up your high card points to the cards in your 2 longest suits. If that's 20 or more, you can open the bidding. If you've got enough quick tricks as well. But here you've got 11 high card, an 8 in diamonds, and one of the majors. That's a total of 19. So, oh, hang on, sorry. Yeah, Carol, I'll get to board 8 as soon as I've got my lessons. Thanks. Um, so I'd suggest it goes pass. I'll project. There's another auction that can still get to the same contract if West opens. Uh, anyway, North opens 1 club, pass. I think the easiest bit here is 2-no trump. Even if you played that as forcing by an unpassed hand, you're a passed hand, so you can't have 13 points. So this has got to be about 11 or 12 balanced. I think most people play that anyway. 2-no trump, pass. North has a little bit extra. They can bid 3-no trump. And it goes pass. Okay, so they're in three no trump. West has a pretty normal three-card sequence. Against no trump, we lead top from a three-card sequence or a broken sequence. If you had Queen Jack 4-3-2, you'd lead low from that against no trump. You need three honors to lead from your sequence against or three connected cards anyway to lead from your sequence against no trump. So on the Queen of Diamonds, Declara has four spades, two diamonds, one heart, maybe two, um, and maybe a club. We certainly do have some work to do. Uh, let's duck around to diamonds because you're not afraid of the defense attacking anything. And they continue another diamond. Okay. So Declare plays a low heart from dummy. Um, this is one where you'd want to split honors. You play the reason isn't so much Declare was almost certainly going to play the King of Hearts anyway. But you want to stop that. And the important thing is you want to try and help partner to get an idea of how many tricks they have in the suit. If it goes up low heart to the 10 king, partner can see that you wouldn't have played the 10 of hearts from like 10 third or 10 doubleton. So you've got to have the jack behind it. Now they can see that, well, Declare can't have enough tricks and to make 3 no trump. So they can safely just keep on going after diamonds. A lot of you might have done that anyway. Um, but the problem that this is solving is if it goes two of hearts, three, king, ace. If West places Declare with king, jack, third of hearts, not unreasonable given that they're playing the heart suit, they probably have the ace of spades and they know from the carding in diamonds that they've got the king of diamonds. That would be three heart tricks, four spade tricks, and the ace king of diamonds. It might be necessary to go and get four club tricks before Declara can run their nine tricks. If partner had king, jack, 10, X of clubs, it was necessary to play the ace of clubs at this point. That's if Declara has three heart tricks. The 10 of hearts splitting of the honors is useful not only because it forces the king, Declare was probably going to play that anyway, but it helps partner to count the tricks on defense. That's one of the keys to defense, especially at more advanced level, is counting the tricks that Declarer has, working out whether you need to be active or passive on as the defender. If partners split honors here, now we can go passive. We can just attack diamonds, wait to get in with our ace of clubs, and we'll beat them enough. If we get active, we go ace of clubs and a club, that's going to set up enough tricks for Declare. And it might have been right to do that. So this is one where it helps partner judge how many tricks Declare has in a suit, and they can plan the defense accordingly. Plus, you're forcing out an honor that you want them to play. All right, this is another example where splitting honors is right. Um, let's go to board number 10. I promise I'll get to this one later, Carol. Yeah, I promise I'll circle back to it. All right. This is one of the classic ones where it looks like it might be right to split, but it's not. Um, the auction should just be pretty simple. Pass, pass, pass. North has 21 balanced. They open two no trump. Pass. Uh, South has 6 points and five cards in a major. The traditional way, so they bid three diamonds to show their five hearts. North accepts, and then they bid three no trump to offer a choice of games. Um, just as a side, and this is part of the conversation in the lesson PDF. This auction is one that South can be pretty unbalanced for. They'll always have exactly five cards in the major they've shown, but because there's no room below three no trump to show a second suit, um, this hand might be very well 5 hearts and 5 clubs. So North should try to go back to 4 hearts whenever they hold 3 cards in the suit. Even if they're balanced otherwise, their partner might be very fairly unbalanced. So North should pull back to the major whenever they hold 3. On this hand, they don't, so they pass. That's just a side comment. So they've done that. Um, East is on lead. So they lead the 10 of spades. Small. We can play small here. When declare doesn't win the jack, your partner will know that you have it, so no big deal. We can win the king. So now East knows that dummy is entryless outside of the heart suit. Poor declare is sort of stuck. They have ace king, ace king, ace king, maybe another diamond trick, maybe another club trick. Both of those chances, as you can see, are pretty remote. Their best chance is hope for something good to be happening in hearts. Uh, so if they play a heart, now the temptation here is, oh, let's split. We can force Declare to win the. Declare seems to certainly have a doubleton heart on the auction. If we split here, and Declare wins the ace, this is a situation where we would give count. Now, oh great, we're in wonderful shape. Now we can win the king of hearts. They'll never see dummy again, and we'll crush this contract. The problem is that Declare doesn't have to win the ace of hearts. Declare can duck the heart. And now they can say a silent prayer and play the jack of hearts. Oh, that one, good. Now the heart trick. So this is a situation where you don't want to split honors. Situations where you're willing to give them a cheap trick in the suit, but you maintain overall control of the suit. If you play a low heart, you'll control the third round of hearts, and that's where the entry to dummy is. This is one where you really did not want to split honors. You're just going to help Declare set up the whole suit on that. And as you can see, this is a tough topic. The difference between this hand and hand, I think it was number 4, where you did have to split from King, Queen, 10. They're very small differences. Recognizing the times when you should split and when you should not split are very difficult ones. I hope I've provided some hands to give you some idea where it's a good idea, where it's not, but it's really tough. Okay. Having said that, I'm going to go over hand 8. Um, Let me put the PDF into chat again. So you can go over those one. Oh, it says I can't upload it. Okay, there we go. There are the lesson hands. There we go, folks. I am going to, okay, just give me a second to get the hands back because this thing is sometimes miserable. Come on, you. Okay. Just give me a minute, guys. This thing sometimes gets fancy on me. Okay, there we go. Okay. Auction for hand number 8. West, certainly this is way too strong for any kind of preempt. Maybe 4 hearts, but I wouldn't do that. There's no rush to be so, I don't know, deal ending. 1 heart seems fine. Pass. East has enough to make their 2/1 response, whether you're playing standard American or 2/1 game forcing. Either way, this is that. South, I think I like two spades here. I'm very minimum, but I really would like to have a spade lead if partner was on lead against whatever they did. Plus, it's the boss suit. I mean, you might end up um, successfully doing something here. So I think two spades. Um, a double would be for takeout, but given that you've got five good spades and four clubs that aren't that great, I think you want to emphasize the spades if you're going to make a call with South. Uh, West still has to introduce their suit. It's just too dangerous if you pass here. They've got minimum points, but they have a 7 card heart suit. The danger is if you pass, North might raise spades even to 4, and you're nowhere close to having described your hand. So 3 hearts. North is close. I'll say they can bid 3 spades. It's a little iffy because the Queen of Hearts is almost certainly useless for offense, and it's still only 6 points, but it is 4 trumps. So I think 3 spades is right. East has heard their partner bid and rebid hearts. For me, that's enough I know my diamonds are beautiful, but I think it's enough to just bid 4 hearts. When the opponents are competitive, I tend to stop looking for magic hands. Um, it certainly is possible that 6 hearts is there, but it's not. If you start investigating whether slam is there or not, the times that you successfully bid and make or slam are going to be counterbalanced by the times you get to the 5 level and go down 1, and that's embarrassing. Um, so although slam might be there, I'm willing to just we found our fit. If we go 480, we go 480. Partner doesn't have to pass 4 hearts. I think South said there what they have to say. West says what they have to say. Um, I think West doesn't have any extras. So, and then they take the ace of spades, and presuming that declare they probably just continue spades. And now it looks like if you just plunk down the ace king of hearts, then these club losers go away on all the long diamonds. That's probably the right play. There's nothing big in the auction saying who has the queen of hearts or who's long in hearts. So yes, having said what's the bidding, I've managed to get us to a contract that is short of the slam that makes. It isn't cold, but it makes. It requires somebody to make a bit of an overbid to get to 6 hearts. I think East has to hope on the auction that the partner has a singleton spade, and if they do and they want to risk it, sorry, I'll go back to the auction. The way to get there is for East to overbid, in my opinion, overbid a bit, and just say, "Hey, look, partner bid 3 hearts over 2. They're bidding and raising spades. Partner probably has a singleton. Uh, let's just ask for aces and hope that we've got enough aces." Now you can sort of see, or sorry, this would be the auction to get to slam. East is gambling that there's a spade singleton. Knows that there's running diamonds. So if there's no trump loser and partner has the ace of clubs, we've got a decent shot at 6. That's how you get to slam. I don't think it's clear cut, which is, I guess, why you gave it to me as a bidding problem. It requires a bit of a leap of faith by East for you to get to slam.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks.
Anybody have anything else that they'd like to go over? All right. Thank you, folks. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll have another one on Thursday. I think that one's covering honors, which is a slightly easier topic to present lessons for. And I hope you turn up for that one. We'll be there and waiting.
Thank you,
Very
Mike.
much.
Bye.
Take care. Bye. Okay.